I'm going to use 864 instead of 854 because that's what it is in VidBlaster, and we'll let YouTube deal with it as best they can. Under protocol, RT flash streaming. Well, that's what Flash Media Live Encoder is. Video codec is H.264. You can see we're set on that already. My other choice would be VP6, but H.264 is what they want. And then notice the little wrench here to the side. If you click that wrench, it brings up another window. And hang on, let me do a little screen cap of that other window, because for some reason that window just won't it won't move. So let's see if we can cut to that window. Yep, there it is. So on window, called categories of information there, we've got something called profile and a little drop down box here. Baseline and main is our two settings. Now baseline is I believe this is the default setting in Flash Media Live Encoder for baseline. At most of the time when I've streamed in the past, it's been, when I've looked at this, it said baseline. But YouTube wants us to use main, so we're going to switch over to main. Level gives us multiple levels, and the Live Encoder uses to make about settings internally. 3.1, I believe, is either 3.0 or 3.1 is the default setting in Flash Media Live Encoder, but YouTube wants us to use 4.1, which would be higher quality, so we're going to select that. Keyframe frequency, you've got choices between 1 and 10 seconds. YouTube wants 2 seconds or less, and when I set this at 2 seconds last week, it gave me a red flag, so we're going to second, and then click OK, and that's going to make the way. And we'll go back to our other screen over here and see that we've now got H.264, we've got main, we've got 4.1, our keyframe is set for less than 2 seconds, and let's pull the Flash Media Live Encoder window back up, and you can see that we've got 30 frames a second set right here. And the audio codec, this is kind of interesting. This is AAC-LC. Not sure what the LC means, but AAC is a codec that you have to actually purchase a license to. I don't have a license to it, so I just use the MP3 format, which is the only real choice I've got in Flash Media Live Encoder. And last week that worked okay. I mean, you guys heard me, so it must have been working, and I think it sounded pretty good. I do use the recommended audio sample rate of 4400 or 44.100, and the bit rate recommended of 128. You'll notice that I've got my volume maxed out right there. And so that's sort of, and the other thing on this audio side is I've selected my mixer as my audio capture device. And then, of course, let me end where I should have started, which is to say the video device is the stream from VidBlaster, and this is currently set for VidBlaster VVD. Well, what the VidBlaster VVD is right here is a module in VidBlaster that I've established that's an output module, and I'm telling it to output to the VVD, to the VidBlaster VVD, a particular module, which is an effect module, which is me with this background. If I had it output the program, which is generally what I would be streaming, it would be one of those, images that goes off to an infinity. So I didn't want to confuse everybody with that. So I'm not really streaming the show. I'm just streaming this particular shot of the show as an example of it. It gets even more confusing, but at the same time powerful, because VidBlaster has 2 VVD options. So you can make 2 different kinds of video information available to programs based on what you want to do. So if you've got a Skype return video and then you want to show a show, those can be 2 different video feeds. Or in this case, I want to show. I want to stream this show, and then I also want to show you something that's part of the show, but it's different. So I can do that. And one of the VVDs is contained in the output module, and the other one's contained in the streamer module. And we might take a look at that at the end of the show if we have some time. But let's don't get sidetracked. The the video device that we've selected here is called VidBlaster VVD. We know that's the VVD from the output module. If I drop this drop-down box, see not only is VidBlaster VVD is one of the selections. So if I click that, that should change over to what the act is that you're seeing. You can see now it's kind of going on to infinity because the streamer module is VVD. VVD is always called Blaster when you're looking at it in a device. So we're going to go back to the VVD, which is set up for myself that looks like a long ado about nothing. Anyway, it's important to know what your video device is, format, frame rate, input size, bit rate, all of that, and then the same thing. Okay, now that we've done the video and audio, we have to tell Flash Media Live Encoder where to send this in. And if you're using a different encoder, you will do something very similar. So let's go back to our YouTube page, and let's go to the previous page where we just came from, and you'll see that we have copy and paste into your encoder. We've got 3 different categories: stream name, primary server URL, and backup server URL. Okay, well, let's compare that encoder. Flash Media Live Encoder has got similar pieces of information. Let me slide this over for just a second. We'll go ahead and just take those out. Blank. First one with Flash Media Live Encoder is Flash Media Server URL. Second one is backup URL. Last one is stream. Well, YouTube stream name is the first one, so don't be confused. Let's copy that, and we'll bring our FMLE window back up, and we'll copy the stream information and paste it into the stream field. So the first is last over here. The middle one here, primary server URL field here for FMS URL. The only one left is backup. So we'll copy that into the backup server URL field. And we are now all in Flash Media Live. This is good news. If at this would click 2 separate streams, both of which are being encoded at 8,000 frames, 30 frames a second, 1,000 kbps. Doing that, what would it look like? And that's here at the live control. It's getting time for our show that we've told Flash Media Live Encoder, we've clicked the steer and we've started the stream. This red part right here in YouTube turns green. Right now it's saying, hey, we're receiving data from your encoder. Well, that's it. But had we started it, this would be green. Start encoder. We could preview down here where it shows no data, 480p, and it would say this is good. Now, if there was a problem, if you'd forgotten to change the profile baseline to main or something like that, then it would actually tell us this, right? We can scroll down a little bit more and see in a public view window just for fun. And there you can see that we've got 17 minutes, 25 seconds until our show. So if somebody goes to this show right now, that's what they're going to see. They're not going to see a pre-show or anything like that until we're live. If I had started encoder, it would show up here. We're just playing around today. We can't. Let's drop this down to about 200 kbps. See what happens. We may just kill everything, but let's live dangerously. So let's start that up and see what happens. Monitor everything here. You notice that in YouTube, stream status says good. I don't believe it says good because I put it down to 200K. I'm beginning to tax my PC a little bit. So let's keep an eye on that. To preview, and it says, "Are you sure?" Take a few seconds to process your stream. Boy, does it ever. So now it's changed, and it says in green, "We're preparing your live stream preview. Please wait a moment."